All right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, excited to talk to Kevin Monroe about the upcoming Pirate football season. The former Pirate great DB joins us. K-Mo, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Cliff. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Excited to get back to football. Excited for week 0 tomorrow. We'll be watching games on TV. Might be watching Stanford play tomorrow night with a little more interest than I ever have. Kevin, we'll get personal first, and we are excited about all our kids' accomplishments. I was thinking about it. My daughter is going into her junior year at South Central. She's already taking classes at Pitt Community College, so I'm
Nice.
proud of that. If I
Absolutely.
told you 20 years ago, Kevin, that you would have a child going to a prestigious university like Stanford and a child that would be playing sports in the Atlantic Coast Conference, you'd be pretty excited about that. And you might get the best of both worlds. Congratulations to Marcus Monroe, who committed to Stanford. But that's awesome, man.
You know what? It's really cool. And honestly, I always knew that Stanford was a prestigious school. I didn't know how prestigious until they started talking to him and we started doing some research. And you know, I honestly, if I went around telling people that he was going to Alabama to play football or Georgia to play football or you name the Ohio State to play football, I'm not sure I would get the same reaction I'm getting now telling people he's going to Stanford. At least people, that know about colleges and know about academics. Everyone is just so excited. They could care less about football. They're just so excited that he gets to go to Stanford as a student. And so I'm just super proud of him. Could be more proud of him to be able to get into that school. And as you say, to play in the ACC is a bonus.
Yeah, that's weird that you'll be able to drive to your kids' games when they play Duke and State and Carolina and Wake Forest. That's really cool. Kevin, you said both your boys are they teammates this year on the high school football field?
So they're not. And my youngest son, who we affectionately call Butter, he's been Butter since birth. And anyway, Butter is at the public school that Marcus left over a year ago. So
Okay.
those that know the story know that Marcus left the public school to reclassify and redo his junior year and went to a private school. And for people that wonder why he did that, it's because Marcus grew 10 inches in high school.
Wow.
That's not a normal thing. He started high school at about 5'6.5", and present day he's about 6'4". And so, Mike Houston and other coaches kept saying, "Man, he's like a baby deer. Like he was just all limbs, and it just took a while for him to grow into that body and add muscle and add speed." And so, taking that extra year of high school really helped him. And so, he's at the private school. My youngest son, not the same issues. He's already 6'1", 170 as a freshman in high
Man.
school. He's going to be playing varsity football at receiver and safety for the public school that's right across the street from our house. So he didn't want to go to the private school. So they're playing at two different schools.
And just to there's been talk about Marcus and did ECU show interest? Did Marcus not want to go where his dad played football? So Kevin, now that we got you here, we can hear it straight from the horse's mouth. What was the involvement with East Carolina in Marcus's recruitment?
Listen, early on, East Carolina was the goal, was the dream. To play in Dad's footsteps. My parents still live in Greenville. Lots of family in the area. My brother is in the area, his family, and so that was the dream. That would have been awesome. But I'll be honest with you, East Carolina told us early on because they signed 3 tight ends in 2025, which most teams don't do that. Most teams never sign more than 2 in a year. They signed 3. They didn't have a tight end specific roster spot for him, even though they liked him a lot. And so they told me that pretty early in the process. And although I was bummed, I was hoping things would change. I didn't know if anybody would leave, with the portal and everything. Or I thought maybe they would get creative and offer him a tight end or a receiver spot or something like that. But they stuck with it and said that we're not going to take a tight end this year, and they haven't. It's not like they just didn't take him; they didn't take anybody. So,
All right.
it's been a little bit disheartening, but I get it. They were upfront with me. They were not dishonest, and so I appreciate that from Coach
Yeah.
Harrell and the staff. And we'll just move on, and
Yeah.
he'll make his legacy somewhere else.
Out of I've shared my thoughts on it on social media and on the show, and out of respect to Kevin, I'll just move on as well. And Kevin, you will be once again calling home games at Dowdy Ficklen Stadium with Jim Szoke this year.
Yeah, it's looked like it's going to be my last year. With
Man,
Marcus going off to college next year, I'm going to want to go to all his games, and so I won't be able to do ECU games either home or away. But yeah, this year coming up. I'll be doing the home games, starting with the very first home one. So I'm excited for that. Back with Jim Szoke, and Andrew Bays will take over the away games as he's done in the years past.
well, that's kind of a bummer to hear, Kevin. Excited for you personally, but selfishly wanted you to be around here forever, and hopefully we can still get you on the show, talk football with you as
Absolutely.
always.
I think this will be my 24th season. So,
Man,
including sideline and in the booth, it's been a nice reign. And so, certainly gave the Pirates all I had over these last 23 years. And so, I'm excited to do this last one. And who knows? Maybe once my boys are done playing college ball, maybe they'll have a spot for me and I'll come back. But I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Kevin, we don't have any more spots available. Sorry, man. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, that's the only joke I'm going to say. It's a real shame, Kevin, that we won't get the same Ehlers treatment where, man, if Monroe won't call in games, his boy wouldn't even be on the field. We won't get any of that on the fifth quarter. So,
Well, it's funny because what it takes a few years of bad quarterback play or bad, you name a position
to
play
appreciate.
for people to appreciate what you might have had in Holton Ahlers. And I'll take some blame as well. I mean, I said on the air, he made some throws he probably shouldn't have made, and did some things that put us in bad situations. But he certainly did more good than bad and won more games than he lost. So yeah, once he was gone, I think people really started to appreciate what he did at East Carolina.
And look, everything I've ever said is recorded, so people can go look. But I didn't want Mason Garcia to replace Holden, but I wanted him to go get some action. I think we talked about that a lot, Kevin.
That's right.
And who knows if that stunted his growth or he would have never made it regardless. But yeah, they had the right quarterback playing. We can definitely say that at this point.
They did, and I think the Pirate coaches maybe saw what we ended up seeing on Saturdays. They saw that at practice, and
Right.
that's why he wasn't on the field.
Let's move ahead to this year, Kevin. We're excited about this offense with Caden Hauser, John David Baker returning. They made a big point to say the entire offensive staff returning, and being in the locker room. I mean, you got to hope the Jimmies and Joes are good, but continuity is a big thing. I think especially in 2025, right? And the offense has that.
There's no doubt. I mean, you have your quarterback coming back, and not only is he the guy, but he's been the guy all off season. So you had the off season for him to run with the ones, to take all the snaps, and to get the confidence that he had, coming out of last year to roll into this season with it, but just build onto it. You get Anthony Smith coming back, and then Yannick, who stepped up big last year, and so to have those two guys as kind of your stalwart wide receivers. You can transfer Jaquez from Oklahoma. They're expecting big things out of him. The running back room is stacked. A couple guys coming back from last year with Gunn and Montgomery. And so, yeah, and then offensive line. I mean, you had to mix and match and move some transfers. There's a couple guys returning from last year, but they feel good about the offensive line. And so, I mean, I've been telling people, all offseason, I've been asking, I said, this offense is going to be really, really good. And they may have to outscore people until the defense catches up. Blake Harrell being a defensive coach, I think they'll get it right. I think they'll have things figured out eventually. But I think with the fact that, I know you're going to get to that in a second, but the fact that they don't have very many guys returning, they may be a little bit behind this offense to start the season. So definitely have to score a lot of points.
Well, I'll ask you, Kevin. And look, it's fun prediction season, so what we say now might be different than what we say in October.
Yeah.
Do you think this is like a early rough era situation where Dominique Davis and kind of early Shane Carden are having to put up 50 to win, or is it going to be more kind of late rough where we had a good offense, defense kind of came around? Like, what are you expecting this year?
I actually have the picture of Ruff's first game against Tulsa with the Hail Mary, in my office right now. I could show it to you if I turn my camera around. But yeah, that's. I mean, I'm hoping that they're not giving up 50 a game. I'm not putting that on the defense, but I think they will take some lumps defensively, and I think some teams will put up points, and I'm hoping the offense is up to the task to outscore some folks. I think the JV game at my younger son's school last night was 39-32. I feel like those are the type of games that the Pirates will be in at times, and so hopefully they can come out with the 39 more times than not. But yeah, I think it will be a little bit of a struggle defensively early on, and in the hopes that they'll get better as the year goes on.
What's the talk there in Raleigh, Kevin, about C.J. Bailey and this NC State offense? Sounds like they plan to put up some points this year too, right?
Yeah. I mean, they got their little scat back running back that's a good player, and then the quarterback's obviously just a ton of talent. I think he's even gotten taller and bigger in the offseason. I don't know why people are still growing in college, but he's a player at quarterback, and so yeah, they're jam packed on offense. They get the one receiver that left to go to another Power 4 school, but they're returning a lot of guys. So I think State fans are excited. The problem is they've been in the midst of a lot of mediocrity lately, and so people are expecting a lot. And I'm hearing things like if Dave Doran doesn't win 9 games, he could be out and things like that. And who knows? That's just talk. It's just rumors. But there's a lot of pressure for them to win a lot of games, and so I think this has been an off season of them saying, hey, we're going to do whatever we have to do to win and win a lot. And so we'll see how it shakes out. Definitely one thing you can say is that East Carolina won't sneak up on State. Who's to say if that happened in the bowl game? But teams in this area tend to take us lightly, and they usually pay for it. I don't think that'll happen. Next Thursday.
I hope it's a scenario like 13-14 with North Carolina, Kevin. ECU puts up 55 on Carolina, and the whole talk was, well, we took them lightly. So then the next year, ECU put up 70, and there won't nothing they could say. So we'll see if it's one of those scenarios.
Those were fun times, and that's why some of those guys are going in the Hall of Fame this fall, because they put up some big-time numbers. It was just a fun time to watch Pirate football.
Kevin, man, I'll say this. I think it's going to be kind of a tense – people be excited, State fans. It's the season opener, but kind of a tense building until they put some points on the board because, heck, Dave Doran kind of lives on the hot seat as it is, whether he should or not. I feel like it's that way with State fans. So Pirates go up early. That place could have a weird feeling on Thursday night.
Oh, there's no doubt. And, there's a contingency of State fans that are just completely over it, and they don't. They may not show up on Thursday night. They're checked out until a new staff enters the house. I'm one of those people that I think they have good coaches. I think Dave Doran, coming from was it Northern Illinois that he was at before?
Yeah.
Southern Illinois, one of those two. He proved that he was a good coach, and maybe some things haven't gone quite the way they wanted in certain seasons, and I think they get so excited early in seasons because their non-conference schedule usually isn't that tough, and they have 3 or 4 wins, and all of a sudden they get in the ACC and they struggle, and so. Who knows how this thing's going to pan out? I think he's earned the length of time he's had there, but expectations are more than just mediocrity, and expectations are more than losing to Carolina every year or losing to other in-state ACC schools like Duke and Wake Forest. And so they, at the very least, they want to do better than that. And going 6-6 is not going to do it at NC State, and so the pressure is definitely on.
Kevin Monroe joining us. Kevin, can you financially advise the Commanders to get their head out of their ass and just sign Terry McLaurin, give them some money, or maybe me and you can get together and broker a deal, Parsons for McLaurin? Is that what we do? I don't know.
I mean, Terry McLaurin's a good player. He's no Micah Parsons. We would not make that trade. I can promise you that.
Fair.
I'm with you, and we're in this scenario. I say we Cowboy fans are in this scenario every year, right? With it was CD the year before, it was Dak the year before that, and it's always going to be somebody. If you have really good players, you're going to have guys up for contracts, and you have to pay them. And I think Jerry's good with that. For some reason, him and Micah have they're at a little bit of an impasse, and I don't know who said what that hurt somebody's feelings. But Micah has just really been hurt over this whole deal, and he's unfollowed the Cowboys on social media and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's more of a soap opera now than it should be, and that bothers me. I don't think Jerry's going to trade him. So, I think, Micah could hold out for a while and get hit in his pockets until he decides to come back. But I don't think Jerry's going to trade him. I think he's going to just start the season, say he's under contract, and I hope he shows up, and we'll see where it goes. But I think he'll get paid eventually, especially if he shows up and plays game one. I think Jerry will pay him.
There definitely is a history of this. Did Emmitt Smith do this like way back in the day, just not play, and then they signed him and he rushed for how many ever 1,000 yards and everything was happening.
I think it rolled right up into the start of the season and maybe a game or two. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but yeah, and they ended up getting paid, and it's weird how that goes. You got to pay your stars, and you don't have a handful of stars on every team, and he's one of those guys that's a big time star. So I hope they figure it out.
Kevin, enjoyed the chat, man. The back to football chat. I appreciate it. We'll keep in touch. Do it again soon, and good luck to the Monroe boys with the Friday night, Thursday night lights. Gonna be fun.
Listen, we didn't talk a whole lot about defense, but I'm super excited about these corners that are transferred in. I'm hoping that they show up and show out. Jordy Lowy and Rasheem Reasons and some of these other guys, Tegan Wilk coming back. So yeah, I'm excited to see if this defense can figure it out, especially in the back end. I know they got a lot of linebackers to replace as well. Glad that Lampley's back in the fold after his issues, but I'm a defensive guy, and so I'm rooting for them. I just know they lost a lot. It's going to take some guys like Lampley and Craig to kind of step up and figure it out, and hopefully they'll do that sooner than later.
I hope that we've not crapped on them, but kind of ignored them all offseason so much that they come out and just ball out and be the strength of the team. Who knows? But that's why they play the game.
The offense has so much strength that maybe it's just a tough matchup for them every day, and especially in these scrimmages. Hopefully that's the key. I've heard Coach Harrell say that a few times, that the offense is just really, really clicking. So we'll see.
Kevin, thank you, man. We'll do it again soon.
Appreciate it, Clip.